So this is them staring down. Now, on paper, everybody was talking about all week that Wardley was the bigger guy. We know that, even on their sort of box rec, when you look at the measurements, it says Wardley has a 3-inch reach advantage. They have Wardley, I think, at 79-inch reach and Parker 76. And then Wardley, I think, is listed at 6'5", Parker 6'4". They kind of, they kind of look even. I don't think either one of those things will come into play. I do like Wardley's jab, though, when he's popping it out there. He's flicky with it. He uses it. He doesn't use it to be defensive minded, though. He obviously uses it to set up his backhand. Now, I'm going to play you guys a highlight that I think Queensberry or DAZN was sharing. It's the knockout highlight when Wardley fought Fraser Clark the second time. We know they fought the first time, and Wardley had to overcome, I think, a broken nose or broken bone somewhere near here, and it was a draw. And then the second time he got Fraser Clark out of there early. But it's in the exchange, and I want to pose a question here, because Fraser Clark lands as clean as an uppercut as you're going to land. And I want to pose a question right here. If Joe Parker lands these shots this clean, watch this uppercut Fraser lands right off that one, right there. That was Wardley eating it. Now he frames, kind of illegal. You could call that illegal. Pushes off, big left hook, the right one. He's hurt on wobbly legs. Boom, and he finishes the show there. But my question, though, is it in that initial exchange, Fraser gets off, lands a beautiful, beautiful clean uppercut. Now, I reference that because Justice wasn't a big puncher. Justice Hooney, for all of his boxing abilities, Joe Parker's a better boxer than Hooney. Joe Parker has more power than Hooney. Joe Parker, is world level. Former world champion, had the world title for 2 years. There's questions that have to be asked on both sides of the fence, though. How much credence do you take the Joe Parker versus Bacoli knockout? Bacoli stepped in on 48 hours notice, basically to save the card, and gets knocked out in first or second early on a temple shot. And then we're getting a Fabio Wardley, who was losing pretty much every exchange against Justice until he wasn't. So it's going to be interesting. This is where the boys are torn at in the Discord. I'm going to bring up the Discord conversation, and this is where we're approaching 30 minutes. I want to give a shout out to he's my guy Gil. So we now have a moderator